everyone, let's make deviled eggs. This is the most simplest and classic of all recipes. We use eggs, mayonnaise, mustard, vinegar, salt, pepper, and I'm going to top it today with paprika, green onions, and capers. The first thing we got to do is get those eggs cooking. I'm going to use really cold water because these eggs are cold. They're right out of my refrigerator. So I'm putting in 6 today. I want to go about 2 inches above my eggs so I have that volume of water bathing those eggs. Turn your heat on high because you want to get as hot as you can, as fast as you can. I put a lid on to retain the heat. It's going to take probably 10 minutes for these eggs to come to a boil. If you let this come to a raging boil and you don't catch it, what happens is you get a greenish ring around your eggs. And I want my yolk to be really pretty and bright yellow. So it's been 9 minutes and we see that the little tiny bubbles are starting to come to the surface. Now after it's hit that just boiling point, it's going to sit in that water for 16 minutes for 6 eggs. Now if I'd done a dozen eggs, I would ramp that time up to maybe 17 or 18 minutes. And the reason is the coldness of that egg will still permeate throughout the water and bring that temperature down. It's a little bit of science going on with this cooking. Alright, we have the boil factor going. This goes off. I'm putting the lid on for 16 minutes. Okay, we're going to drain that water. Careful, it's hot. And so you fill that pot with cold water. You want to shock the egg so the shell comes off really easy when you peel it. To make that shock go faster, I sometimes add ice. So while those eggs are cooling, I'm going to chop up my garnish. The reason I'm using green onions is they are a lot cheaper than chives. Green onions have that same flavor and can look like them too. I'm slicing them up in really thin, lengthwise cuts. It's going to look more like chives the thinner you can go. So I do this a few times. And you know what? I could really care less that it's a chive or green onion. I'm just kind of going for the looks. I don't always have chives in my refrigerator, but often I'll have a green onion or two left over from something. And then really small cuts. I'm getting my capers ready, but you can use pickles or relish at your house too. And I'm going to take my eggs and just kind of break them up against the side of the pan. And just crack them in there so there's lots of those little spider web cracks. That water is really cold. These shells are just slipping off. That was a good trick. I love reusing these bags. Now that's trash. Doesn't have to go down my sink and clog my drains. I'm good. Okay, we have our eggs peeled now. Let's pop out those yolks. So with a very sharp knife, I'm going to cut my egg in half. Lengthwise. Voila! Love that color. I need to wipe my knife in between every egg to make a clean cut so I don't have little egg droppings all over my white part of that egg. There, see? Isn't that fun? So we're going to pop our yolks into a bowl. I don't see any rings. It's really beautiful. That yolk turned out great. The classic deviled egg recipe is 6 egg yolks, 1/3 cup mayonnaise. I like to use a good quality mayonnaise, one that I like to taste just plain because it really matters in this dish. 1 teaspoon mustard, 1/4 teaspoon salt, a little bit of ground pepper if you like it, 1 teaspoon white vinegar. Now, 1 teaspoon lemon juice is great too. But this is a classic recipe and it's done with what's easy to find in your kitchen. White is great because it doesn't pollute the colors. It'll remain bright and yellow, which is beautiful. So you just mix it up with a fork. Oh, I love the way that looks. That is going to be so pretty in my deviled eggs. I try to get all the lumps out of there because you want a really velvety texture. Important step, taste it. Wow. If you want to add more stuff to it now, go ahead. You got your ingredients, whatever you want. Some people like hot sauce in it too. Go for it. I like to stuff them just with a spoon. I don't like pastry bags. I think they take a lot of your ingredients in it as it slides down through that hole, so forget it. I want to do it really simple. I don't have time to mess with stuff like that. But you know what? I decorate it so much with the toppings. Who's going to notice that? So there's my first one. He's cute. Let's keep going. So fill it with 3/4 teaspoon of that deviled egg mixture. really had simple ingredients when I grew up, so it was the basics of everything. And deviled eggs was one of those things I could always rummage around the refrigerator and find enough stuff to make. And they were great for parties, they were great for having friends over. You know what? Simple food is often the most satisfying. I am scraping this bowl for that last egg. Let's start with the paprika first. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Next come our little capers, one by one. So now I take my faux chives. Okay, it's confetti time. Whee! There's our deviled eggs. So subscribe to my channel and let's make a lot more things together. Share me with your friends and like me. I appreciate it. So cheers, bon appetit. Eat your eggs, they're good for you.